of palm tree farm abandoned to rot. And yet, our children will come to Lagos to do conductor, while we left assets back home. And there was a man who was risen up by the government. The man is here with us today, and he changed the face of Ketu Oil Palm PLC. And today, that same dead Oil Palm PLC is now a multi-billion company in Ondo State, generating revenue. And that empowerment didn't stop there. This year alone, we have signed a contract of 40,000 palm tree seedlings that we are buying from them. And that's in millions of naira. Do we know palm tree seedlings? It does not require any Oyibo to plant palm tree seedlings. But as low as that palm tree seedlings is in millions of naira, he has gathered a lot of youths, created irrigation, and I can imagine when you get to where their palm tree seedlings are, you will be marveled. And right from that local government, this man is creating wealth with agriculture. We are tenants to them. We have some hectares of land that we've rented from them, and we are also milling palm oil. This year also we have tons of storage of palm oil with them. And from that inspiration, we have created PalmRich Estate, which is an estate dedicated to palm tree farming. We've started this in Lagos State, and today we can boldly tell you that in Lagos State, we have the biggest oil palm tree farm. And replicating that model, I was in a meeting that one of my mentors who I'll be introducing shortly to us, the Oni of Ife, and 3 powerful kings. And the Oni said, young man, you cannot have enough land to farm in Lagos State. Go to Ogun State and get more land. And that drove us to Ogun State. We secured 1,000 acres of land. And today we are building, or we are creating what is called rural urbanization. And how do we mean rural urbanization? We are creating a smart economic city where people can live, like in my village in Ondo State, live in the estate, their source of income is in the estate, and they don't have business coming to stay in traffic in Lagos, earning 80,000 naira and not pay their house rent. Awesome. We have created poverty by ourselves, same as we are creating inflation. Nigeria does not have business with poverty and inflation. And with agriculture, we have proven that agriculture can be a vital tool, just like Mr. Goyega Fatimilaya said, to solve our economic problem. It's my pleasure this afternoon to welcome to the stage the MD CEO of Ketu Oil Palm PLC, for the person of Mr. Taiwo Adewale. Please can we give him a round of applause?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I want to speak to all of us about what I call the way forward.
The way forward.
Thank you. Some of us that are in this hall today, we actually have secured our passports and visas to relocate to other lands. I want to read from the scripture. Deuteronomy 34. One to 3. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead, unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, unto the uttermost sea. The last verse, and where I'm going. And the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city. Hallelujah. I'm an agronomist by training. I was one of those fortunate benefit from free education set up by Ado-Odo from the little town of Owo, Ado State. And when I graduated, when I was growing up, I used to follow my grandmother to the farm. I would stay in the little hut. But Providence had it that I studied that way. But when I graduated in 1990, I decided that I would have nothing to do with agriculture. So I came over to Lagos after my master's.
It's back to agric now.
Come and search for it. And I struggled all over Lagos. Well, made a few money. But the time came, the story was not going to be the way it used to be. And Providence brought in a man called Arapurin, who wrote in the of those states. By Providence, I found myself in Okitipupa Oil Palm, a company founded, registered in 1976, but it started as a project founded by Baba Wolowo in 1952. 1952 to today is 71 years old. And the first 811 hectares of land was planted with palm trees in 1952. And I'm still harvesting that palm tree today.
Wow.
What am I saying? I will list a few things that are critical. Yes, biological assets, bearer plants, hectares of land. 1 hectare will take 150 pounds seedlings to grow. Acres will take 60. And I couldn't just imagine that on way back 1952, the only sage that I recognize in the whole of Nigeria, Baba Wolowo, will project to establish in each community hectares of land, of palms, across Ogun, Oyo, Ondo, like that. Okitipupa was badly mismanaged for several decades. But God will have it to use us as instruments to turn around the company. And that is the solution to Nigeria's problems. We must go back to the values that our parents handed over to us. And so when I got to Okitipupa, as a beneficiary of the free education, I said to myself, that I will never be part of the wrong. So we began to look at the company to see why it failed. Got delisted from the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2011 because of the total breakdown of governance and management. At the last count, the company had 23 bank accounts, but no cash entered the account. So it cannot fail. And so we began to look at the company. And one of the first things we did was to insist on a cashless policy, which I started on the first day I got to the company on April 3rd, 2018. And I can safely report that those biological assets of about 70 years old, between 50 and 70 years old, over 10,000 hectares of land, is producing unprecedented results today.
Wow.
We are on the verge of coming back to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And in 2021, we were able to deliver a dividend for the first time in 27 years. I'm bringing these highlights to us to change our mindset that we can create the wealth that we're looking for here. And so there's no need to shift to other nations.
Right.
And you have asked me to look at how to make things easier, more secured, transactional. For those of you in the real estate and for asset rights, I think we should be looking at collaboration. Get people together who can invest in 1,000 hectares oil palm. I will speak specifically to oil palm. About 3 billion human beings consume oil palm-based food across the world on a daily basis. And so, Ketu does not look for customers. They look for us.
That's huge.
And for you to appreciate what I'm talking about, from a meager revenue, 260 million that I inherited in 2018, the company generates 2.2 billion naira today.
What?
Because we deployed a strategy that has empowered about 275 licensees today. Those licensees go into our plantations to harvest and process the fruits So, Okitipupa, apart from creating wealth for itself, works with at least 275 multi-millionaires today who have no business coming to Lagos. I relocated from Lagos to Okitipupa, and I come back to Lagos occasionally to play golf. My inspiration came from one encounter I had. When I got to digging for the facts, of course, the company was indebted to so many people. They were not paying salaries. So I inquired, how do you pay salaries? They said one young lady who trades in oil, palm oil, borrowed them the money. And I sent for her. Honestly, total reformation of my thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to create wealth, move back to where you can access land. Start. The lady that borrowed the publicly quoted company money not have worked for me either at home or in my office here in Lagos. But she was able to give loan of 10 million naira. So I said to myself, why should I be? I have no reason. The rent I pay, if I invest it in 100 acres of land of 2,400 palm trees, at the turn of 5 years, should not make anything less than 100 million. That is the truth. So, I'm not sure your coming here is just to come and listen to us, what we have experienced. I need you to experience it. The transformation that has happened in Okitipupa is phenomenal. And we are not stopping. So it doesn't make any economic sense that you reside in Lagos and you cannot pay your bills while opportunities lie unattended to. So if you are going to create estates, your funding strategy should be such that your first option is not to borrow money. In the entire transformation work that we did in Okitipupa, we didn't have to borrow money. We just made ourselves accountable. So, I share with you today that oil palm business is a long-term business. And what I have experienced, it gives you money every 21 days. The palm, once it starts fruiting, you can harvest every 21 days on the palm tree.
Wow.
So, depending on the number of palm trees you have, you can actually determine how much money you really want to make. Okitokwa is in the next 1 year, probably by the grace of God, become the biggest agribusiness in Nigeria. It is not a wishful thinking. When we looked at the numbers, we are convinced that is the best space to operate, and from there develop other businesses along the value chain to secure the sustainability of that enterprise. To maintain your plantation is almost at zero cost compared to other depreciating assets that we invest so much in. There's no part of a palm tree that is not money.
Absolutely.
Every part of it.
Every part. Every part.
And so, you can actually use it as a roadmap to your real estate investment. Because once you plant it, you can be guaranteed that for the next 50 to 60 years, that same fruit will continue to give you revenue. And so, what do you need to do? Develop your seedlings, go and establish your plantation. Once you have established your plantation, within a space of 4 years, it starts fruiting. All your labor pain
It's 18 months.
gone. But from that moment, the bank will be asking you, come and open accounts with us. It is a business that requires the integrity and commitment of the individual investing in it. I cannot imagine any other business that you abandon for 27, 30 years, come back to it, in making money. More money than I've ever made, even when it was started. And so, I guarantee you that rather than start with building mansions, start by building the plantations that we pay, or building whatever quality of house you want to build. And I tell you, you will not need anything.
Copy that.
It is an investment and it is a transaction
Yes.
that is mutually beneficial
Yeah.
for both sides.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're always welcome.
Work here in Nigeria and doing it. So with our PalmRich Estate projects, the model is simple, like I said, collaboration. We acquire acres of land. And acquisition of land is real estate, right?
Yes.
That's real estate. So like Mr. Goyega Fatmile told us, we cannot do agriculture without real estate. Are you going to plant on the roof?
No.
On the water?
No.
We need land, real estate. So we acquire this land, then call to landlords. So the definition of landlord is not just owning a house. You can be a palm tree farmer landlord. And we are going to make it practical to you that you will be a richer landlord, any rental income from palm tree farming than building mansion.
True.
Practical solution. I was explaining to the director yesterday, we were on a trip to Alaro City, one of the projects they were kickstarting with Alaro City. So I went there with the director last month, and I was telling her, Ma, we create more money with palm tree farming than building houses. And it's practical.
Yeah.
If I'm going to build a house in Ikeja, GRA, I will need an average of, I think we have Mr. Goyega with us. He's a valuer. So let's get the actual value. If I'm going to buy a plot of land in GRA here, 300 million. Did you get that? So in Ikeja GRA, a plot of land, you are looking for 300 million. The minimum, you will get 400, but that is correct from a valuer. But I have seen that the Nigerian real estate is not actually driven by valuers anymore. It's driven by speculation. So it's driven by speculation and scarcity. I don't know why a plot of land on Mole Estate should be 350 million. Scarcity. Because if they value that place, it may not be 350 million. But if you are not going to buy, come and go. It's 350 million I'm going to sell. So now let's see 300 million, one plot of land. If you're going to build on that one plot of land, commonly in the GRA here, we do duplexes, right? So maybe a 3-unit of 4-bedroom duplex. How much rental income are we going to get from one duplex? From one duplex, how much? Maybe 7 million around, right? So we are seeing an average of 21 million rental income. And for you to build that 3 units of duplex, you will have spent, last part will come and harass you. You will pay them money. And you will have spent an average of 200 million to do that construction again. So you are talking about a 500 million investment, right?
Even more.
21 million divided by 500 million. How many years are you going to wait to get to break even? Please, let's give an answer. How many years are you going to break even? How many years? You're going to wait. Your gray hair will come. So, rental income investment is just an ego when it comes to real investment now. Versus, so the only thing you can get within that 20 or 30 years is to walk on the street of Lagos and you're a landlord. Say, I own 3 properties in GRA, I own 1 in Ikeja. And when they ask you the actual business, so let's carry 500 million and go to my states. I'm from Okinawa. Very soon. We are, like you said, we don't need to come to Lagos. We take a vote count here. You see less people from my community here. So many people from Oshun, right? From the States. Okay. So, with 500 million, how many hectares of land are you going to buy in Okinawa?
Village. Buy a village.
You almost buy the whole village. Now, if you care to be able to plant at least 200 hectares. So this palm tree that we are showing you is live from Epe, Lagos State. Landlords have bought, you can see canopies, they've been allocated. Why this land is appreciating every year? We started selling this land from 700,000. Today, the surrounding estates are selling for 3.5 million. So the land is appreciating. But these trees have started fruiting. And we appreciate our palm trees. Please, can you help us applaud them? We did not need to stress about where to get the seedlings. We simply take them for seedlings and move our seedlings to sites. And they gave us the wall. 18 to 36 months, these trees will start fruiting. And we have these trees. They are less than 3 years. We planted them last year, June. And some of them are already fruiting.
Yeah.
And to these landlords, we have told you that the best retirement income plan you can create is not your pension plan. I mean, we're going to talk about that in our business analysis and see your pension plan versus fair plan. And why you should not use your old age to go and queue with pension and wait tirelessly. And some people die in pension.
Yeah.
But simple wisdom of planting your own pension with palm tree. So we have people who have planted hectares with us. And by the time these trees start fruiting, for the next 50 years, if the land remains, and which land is immovable, right? They will keep making money from oil palm trees.
Yes.
21 days to be harvesting and making money. That is income. That is pension. Constant. Without carrying placard to anywhere. You don't need to carry placard to go and disturb government. And this is simple wisdom of age. So you can key into the PalmRich Estate project. And with this, we have launched phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We are in the phase 4 in Ado-Odo, where we have created a 1,000 acres of land that is a rural urbanization scheme with oil palm tree and agro-processing zone to enable us to bring our youth to stay in places where they can live and earn income at ease. And lastly, when we talk about mortgage, I was talking to the ED that very soon you will need to come and borrow money from me to do your mortgage. And I'll borrow you. You're my friend. Why will he need me to come and borrow money? Because I'm going to make money without sweat. How? Once this palm tree starts fruiting in 1,000 acres, you are talking about 10 billion value. Because we are planting a very modern species. And when we generate this money, we can then do real estate without having to go and borrow money from the bank. Simple equation of real estate is solved. I don't need to borrow money from the bank to build houses. Once the palm trees are fruiting, we can create estate because we have a source. Then we have a printing press to print money. So, the problem is solved. How many problems have we solved? Retirement income?
Yes.
Solved. Dermatitis? Solved.
Yes,
And lastly, one of the great problems that was solved in my life was by my father. I did not know that while I was about becoming a slave in London, that my father had took care of my life. So I grew up knowing that we went to one of the best schools in London State. And I schooled with doctors and lawyers in class, but I cannot introduce who my father is. When you ask me who, my father is a doctor. When it comes to me, that question is from another time. Why? Because my father was a farmer. But this man had over 100 acres of palm tree farm that he has planted. He died when I was 14 and I was still in school, secondary school, primary to secondary school.
secondary school.
And the hope of any good education was dead because he's the only breadwinner in the family. But 2 months after his burial, we realized that this man has left hectares of palm trees. And we were all schooled without going to beg anyone for money from the proceeds of palm oil. If you want to create a trust fund for your children, oil palm tree. That is how that man solved our education. Until today, the 4th generation, we are still collecting money from oil palm trees. And those palm trees are still there doing fine. So I bring to you the reality of real estate and agriculture as a solution to most of our economic problems.